Have you done much like spring scouting out of state? Have you?
A little bit. I've done some in Iowa. Now that you say that, um, back I used to hunt a little more. I used to hunt the southwestern corner a lot around Creston and Red Oak,
Yeah.
those areas. I didn't do much public down there, but in those days, you could just knock on anybody's door to give you permission. They'd say, "Oh, you're bow hunting? Knock
Yeah.
yourself out."
Right.
They would, yeah. And I did fairly well down there.
I was wondering about that. Something else I was going to ask you about out of state hunting. Do you ever bring trail cameras with you and like use them when you're out of state often?
Yeah, but usually, when you're done, just down there for a week or so, the intel doesn't fast enough. But if you got down there, did a scouting trip, put some cameras out, and then picked them up when you came back and sat in your hotel room or whatever and monitored what you're looking at and stuff, I think it would help out a lot. I think a cell cam could help too, but I think even that, the intel's too slow. You get the intel and you're hunting someplace else, you see it, and you're like, oh, okay, I can move over there tomorrow. And I think you're pulling yourself away from what you were on. And I think you're going to get pictures of bucks all over the place. But
Yeah.
I think they can help, but you can't let it screw with your mind,
Yeah.
And I do think, too, you got a limited time. You certainly don't want to be chasing trail cameras.
Yeah. I
If you
didn't
have the
take any.
intel before you get there, I think you're probably better off. I think the
Okay.
intel of a 10-day hunt or a 7-day hunt or something down there, I think that by the time you develop a pattern, it's almost time to go home. I mean,
Right.
and you're chasing cameras.
I didn't bring any with me on any of my hunts this year. But
It
whenever
depends
I
on how
was
much you put into it. I mean, if you're going to go down there in the summer and stuff in glass and stuff like that, then maybe
throw
throw
some
a
cameras
camera
out.
up on a spot isn't a bad idea.
Yeah. I think I'll definitely do
At
that
that
if I
point
go
in
down there. I did have when we were in Fort McCoy that late season, a couple not last year, I guess, or 2 years ago now. I did have a cell camera out in a certain spot and got a picture of a big buck, right before dark or right after dark, I guess. I didn't kill the thing, obviously, but that was the one time that it at least clued me in on one. But then again, it's like I was there putting that camera out. He probably walked by and smelled and probably wasn't going to come,
That's a big part of it. I mean, it's almost like you've already hunted that spot. Then you get the buck on the camera. If you put it out on your 10-day hunt, put it out on day 1. Day 3, that buck walks by and goes past the camera in daylight. You're like, okay, I'm going over there and hunting. Well, at the same time he walked by, he smelled that you were there.
Right.
So is he going to come back tomorrow?
Right.
So that's what I mean about chasing cameras. But if you have that camera out for intel long before you get there and you're not going over there, I think that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Even if you use a regular camera, you could get to that camera to hunt in the evening.
Yeah.
Check the pictures for the last 5-6 days or something, and then say, "Well, I'm moving to a different spot, or I'm hunting here."
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what Gary and the Brads do when they're here. They set out cameras now until April, and then when they get here in October, that's when they start kind of bounce around in the morning there and trying to figure out where they're going to set at in the evenings. Based on those cameras. It's worked out good for them. So, anyway, there was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember now. Oh, and maybe cameras work a little better, like if you are in places like Iowa or like private land in Iowa or out in Kansas where maybe the deer aren't quite as pressured, but like if you're in Wisconsin where, or Michigan or someplace like that where they're a little more skittish of humans. But at the same time, a deer is a deer. Hey, everybody. If you like the channel, make sure you subscribe right here. And if you like the clips, I got 2 more options for you. 2 options right here. Subscribe right here. See you guys.